The magic of the Blue Mountains doesn't lie in their height, it lies in their depth. You know, you descend 100 metres in altitude, but you've effectively gone back 100 million years in time. My name's Dan Lewis, and I work for Blue Mountains Adventure Company. I'm a canyon guide. Blue Mountains boy. I'm 51 years old and I love being a canyon guide because I love going canyoning. It's as selfish as that. They're just magical places that you won't find anywhere else. This is about a 2-hour drive from the centre of Sydney. So the Blue Mountains World Heritage Area was created in 2000 by UNESCO, the United Nations cultural body. All the countries of the world have recognised that this place here has universal values. It's important to all of humanity, not just to Australians. It's made up of 8 different national parks and conservation areas spread over 1 million hectares. And within that area, there's just an amazing diversity of different ecosystems. Many millions of people come to the Blue Mountains every year as tourists. Most of them don't get any further than the lookout at the top and they're looking out over these beautiful places. But for me, to truly experience the magic of the Blue Mountains, you've got to get down into their depths. That's why slot canyoning is, for mine, the perfect way to see the Blue Mountains. We always go through our gear list here to make sure that we've got everything we need. All right, let's go do Empress Canyon. Let's go, guys. Let's do it. Yeah, so if you just have a smell of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That smells great.
So tea tree oil, it has amazing antiseptic qualities, gets used in a lot of cosmetics and washing products and so on these days, and yeah, excellent to put on a cutter or something like that if you're out in the bush. All right, it's time to get wet and wild. Let's do it. What makes this canyon great is that it's very accessible by Blue Mountains Canyon standards, only about a half-hour walk down to the canyon. And it's not a long canyon, but it's got everything you want in a wet canyon. So watch what Hugh does here. Woo! Fantastic jumps, beautiful scenery, and then the awesome crescendo at the end is this abseil down a 30-metre waterfall. So guys, if we send anything over the edge that we didn't mean to send over the edge, we are going to shout rock at the top of our voice. Even if I drop this, the shout is rock, okay? If you hear that shout, what you've got to do is fight your natural human instinct, which is to look up, because then you could eat a carabiner, yeah? And you don't want to do that. One of the best parts about canyoning is taking your wet shoes off at the end of a trip. From as young as I can remember, I had the bush right at my back door, and after school, straight out the door, down the bush, mucking around, building cubbies, you know, swimming in the creek, all that sort of stuff. And I was a journalist for 25 years at the Sydney Morning Herald, the leading newspaper in Sydney. And I feel totally blessed to have had really 2 careers that I've loved. For me, they're actually very closely linked, because I think to be a good guide, you've got to be a good communicator, and you've got to have that thirst for knowledge so that you can share all the knowledge you have with your client. A lot of people who come to the Blue Mountains, they wonder how it got its name, and the eucalyptus drops and the moisture droplets that are in the air, the light hits them and bounces off them, and it creates a very vivid blue. So yesterday we did a wet canyon, which is Empress Falls Canyon, and they're the canyons we like to do in the warmer part of the year. But when the weather turns cold like today, as you can see I'm pretty rugged up, we would rather go and do dry canyons. Dry canyons, they're still beautiful things that have been carved out by the same sort of processes as the wet canyons, but you're able to move through them without going for a swim, which means they're much more pleasant to do on a day like today. Okay girls, so we're going to start our hike into Tiger Snake Canyon here. It's one of the most beautiful winter canyons, dry canyons that we do here in the Blue Mountains. We've got about an hour's walk in, and then we're going to be in a beautiful section of Slot Canyon. We are about to do our first abseil, so we need to think about safety, okay? So just a few basic things. This helmet now always stays on, okay? Don't take it off unless you ask it's okay. Wherever possible, we want to have our feet flat on the surface, at least shoulder width apart, to give us really good stability like so, okay?
Alright, see you at the bottom.
Yeah, enjoy. Woo. Just drop down into that slot and then look for some footholds down below. So let your feet drop below you there, Liz, and just watch that other hand doesn't get trapped under the rope. Yeah. So I've done this canyon a few dozen times now, and it never gets old.
That was awesome. Can we do it again?
100 million years ago, as the tectonic plates of the Earth were shifting and groaning, they started to push all this sandstone up to become what we call the Blue Mountains today.
That's pretty cool in there.
Even the great American writer Mark Twain came to Australia back in the 1890s. And this is what he had to say about when he came to the Blue Mountains. It was a stunning colour, that blue. Deep, strong, rich, exquisite. Towering and majestic masses of blue. A softly luminous blue. A smouldering blue, as if vaguely lit by fires within. It extinguished the blue of the sky, made it pallid and unwholesome, whitey and washed out. A wonderful colour, just divine. So when you come visit us, be sure to tread lightly. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but memories. I look forward to seeing you in the Blue Mountains.